What's up, guys? I saw this article on Forbes yesterday about the new refinancing fee that is going to go into effect, and I thought this was important to pass on to you guys, and this just further silhouettes the benefits of the VA loan, which I have a whole playlist dedicated to, so go check that out if you want more information. But this pertains specifically to Fannie and Freddie, so Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac debt, which is 70% of U.S. mortgages, and it's an extra 0.5% fee. There's a couple different ways you can get charged, and this is essentially a fee that is because rates got dropped and banks are scared because of, that one flu-like thing that's going around that I get demonetized for saying on YouTube, and therefore banks are scared, so screw you guys. The thing that I don't really know about this is whether or not the interest rate or the fee will go away once scary flu thing goes bye-bye, or if this is here to stay and we just got slapped with an extra 0.5% for any, Fannie, Freddie debt, which is the vast majority of it. So for those of you who don't know, a loan, when you get a loan through a bank that goes through like federal, like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, whatever, what happens is you go through the bank, and then the bank gives you the loan, and then Fannie or Freddie buys the loan. It's called the secondary market. They buy the loan from that bank, and then that bank no longer has to deal with it, yada, yada. Anyway, not necessarily a bad thing, but this is why I like local banks. This is why you get better terms through a local bank who can make these decisions, because they don't have to abide by this. So like a local bank, portfolio lender, stuff like that, this isn't going to apply. But so here's what it is, right? So as we scroll through here, it is a 0.5% fee that's going to be charged for Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac loans, as I said. And so it's an adverse market refinance fee. So this is from the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and essentially what it is because the market is adverse or scary right now, they're tacking on a 0.5% fee to accommodate for the fact that they're scared of the scary market. And because interest rates are so low, let's be real, banks are not making as much money right now off, interest rates are low as get out. So there's just not a whole lot of margin there. So this is a 0.5% fee. And it's going to basically what'll happen is it'll get passed to the lender. So like I said, you get the loan from a bank. That bank then sends the loan to Fannie or Freddie, right? That bank is going to get charged a 0.5% from Fannie and Freddie, and they're obviously going to pass it on to you because that's just how life works. They're not going to pay the 0.5% fee themselves, even though, they could. They're going to pass it to you. And so the way that will work will probably vary by bank. If I was to speculate, I would imagine that it's going to be just tacked into an origination fee as just a one-time payment up front, but it could be rolled into the loan. I don't know. We don't know. This goes into effect the beginning of December, so we will see. The reason is to recoup some of the expenses incurred during these government-sponsored enterprises, or incurred by those government-sponsored enterprises, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, due to the economic downturn caused by, you see right here, it says scary flu-like thing. And so basically it says resulting in higher risk and costs incurred by these people, which is a fancy way of saying it's scary and rates are low, so we don't make as much money. So look, it says right here the fee is a 0.5%, so this might end up paying $500 for every 100,000. So if you borrow $1 million, then that is a $5,000 fee that you will either pay at closing or wrapped into the loan. So it says, look, hey, they're building that new fee into their costs, 1/8 of a point, yada yada yada. Right? It's not a huge fee, but it's inconvenient. So it will essentially. If the fees affect rates by 1/8 of a point, which is this, then a 2.875% loan would effectively jump to 3%, right? That's kind of how the math works here. So who's exempt? So here we go, right here, FHA, VA, USDA. So good, because they're federally backed. So, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae aren't going to be able to mess with those. And then there are some borrowers who will escape the new fee. Anything under $125,000, completely exempt. I guess they're just not risky because they're small potatoes. And they're only going to apply to conforming loans or jumbo mortgages. Jumbo being, the larger loans. So like in San Diego over 765, normal markets over 510. So bigger loans. And then, so the advantage of a portfolio lender is that they don't have to meet these requirements, like I've already said. And so I said, like this is a Forbes article. going to go ahead and just shut the background off, or the words off. And the rest of the article just kind of goes on to talk about refinancing. I've got a really good video on refinancing and should you refinance, and it walks through everything. So if you're curious about that, definitely check it out. But the bottom line here is this. You're going to pay this fee if you use anything Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, any conventional loans through a bank that sends to the secondary market or sells to the secondary market. So look for local banks. And my favorite way to do this is there's an app called ICBA, which stands for Local Community Bank Located. And I know the app looks, I've never understood if it's LCBA or ICBA, but if you type ICBA, it pops up, even though it's Local Community Bank. I don't know, but it's ICBA. Pops up. You download this app, and it's literally just got a box for a zip code. You type in your zip code, hit search, and it will pull up local lenders in your area. So you call those guys or girls, and then those local lenders are most likely gonna they're where you're gonna find a portfolio lender or somebody who does stuff in house. And so you want to find a lender who does stuff in house. For example, I have a lender who did 85% bank financing with 10% seller financing. So I only came out of pocket 5% on a 10 unit. That same lender, without any questions asked, is letting me purchase a 4-building portfolio right now for only 15% down. So they're not Fannie or Freddie. They're a local bank, and they let me do not whatever I want, but a lot more than Fannie or Freddie would do. And so I'm not going to pay this stupid fee. So that's nice. So this is ultimately not going to be the end of the world, but it is kind of inconvenient, and you need to know about it. And since I just saw it pop up, just read up on it, I just wanted to make sure that I let you guys know. So this is why local banks are important. This is why relationships are important. And this is why, even though rates are low, the costs aren't always going to be low. Also, just so you guys know, this is strictly for refinancing. So if you're buying a property brand new, this does not apply, but this is essentially their way of getting a little bit back for the millions of people who are refinancing right now to lower rates. So the banks are losing their shirts. Not really, but if you had a 3.5% or 4% interest rate on $1 million loan, let's say you had a 4% interest rate on $1 million loan, and that's $40,000, and then you got that cut to 3%. Well, that's $10,000 a year that you're not paying the bank. That adds up if a lot of people do that, especially if people are getting 2.5, 2.25, 2.75. So the bank is losing a lot of money on interest rates on loans that they already had. So what they're doing is they're effectively trying to A, slow down refinances, and or B, make them a little bit more profitable for themselves as a way to just make sure they're not end up over water. So I understand it's kind of frustrating, but I'm okay with a conservative policy like this, a conservative move like this. I would much rather see Fannie and Freddie step in and say, hey, look, this is kind of ridiculous. We can't no, as opposed to getting over their head with mortgages and or losing money. And, we see some adverse stuff. So ultimately, rates are going to go back up in the long run. It's going to happen. They're going to have to increase interest rates in the future. They can't stay this low forever if we plan to have, normal economic debt cycles. And so when that happens, if you locked in 2.75 or 3% and you had to pay this 0.5% fee, you're not going to care that you had to pay this 0.5% fee when the rates go up to 5 or 6%. And you're like, whew, thank goodness I refinanced. So just make sure the numbers work for you and they make sense. Don't do anything stupid. Don't freak out. This isn't the end of the world. No sky is falling here, but just make sure that you understand what this means and the implications, and that you're tracking on this new, fee. So this is called the mortgage refinancing fee. That's probably not the official name. Where is it? There we go. The adverse market refinance fee, which is a federal housing finance agency fee that is going to take effect essentially because of scary flu equals lots of refinances at really cheap interest rates. So I hope this was helpful. If you got something out of it, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And smash that like button, hit subscribe if you made it this far and haven't hung up on me yet. Have a great day.